Onya, Mommy Tonya, I celebrate you. I want to believe we can hear me clearly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pastor Guke. I really appreciate this opportunity. So, because of the time, music distribution and revenue generation is not what we can discuss in 1 hour or let me say 2 hours. But right now, we have about 20-25 minutes to just get this done. And I won't want to waste so much of the time. Let's just go straight into it. I know Zoom should be shutting us down any moment from maybe about 40 minutes after or something. So, quick one. I believe we must have heard the saying that music business is an expensive business. I totally do not dispute that. Music business is an expensive business. For anyone that wants to do music, uh, how do I say it now? You want to go fully into music and you want to make enough money and revenue or royalties from it. I put it to you today that music business is an expensive business. However, yeah, this isn't to scare us all at all. Life is in stages, and the bits we can do at every stage is also very important. So, if at this stage what you can do is one aspect of the music business, it's fine. If at this stage what you can do is you can go 10 miles, it's fine. If at this stage what you can do is a marathon, it's fine. If at this stage what you can do is just 100-meter race, it's fine. Life is in stages, and we just have to do our bit at every stage in time. So the topic I'm discussing here today is music business and revenue generation strategies. I was music distribution and revenue generation, but I had to add a word to that, which is strategies, right? Because everything I want to be talking about today and I'll be discussing today is basically to give us hints on how we can go about distributing our songs and generating revenue for our songs. So, going straight to it, what is music distribution? That's the first question I put to us today. What do we think is music distribution? Music distribution basically is the process of getting music from artists to the store. So making it available for the public, either for purchase or for streaming or for download. This is the same whether it's in digital stores or maybe physical stores. Basically, music distribution is the same thing across board, just getting it from the artist to the stores. Now, there are various platforms for distribution. There are various platforms for distribution. There is the website platforms, there is the social media platform, and there are DSP platforms, which are distribution, um, uh, distribution platform. I've forgotten that DSP basically uh, distribution partners basically, yeah, distribution partners. And there is TuneCore, there is CD Baby, there is DistroKid, and quite a number of other platforms out there which are distribution partners, which will help you get your song onto whichever platform we are looking at. If you are looking at all the digital stores, yeah, fine. If you are looking at Boomplay only, fine. If you are looking at iTunes, Spotify, iTunes, Spotify, uh, can we give me some digital stores out there that we can make mention of? Just drop it in the chat box. We have the iTunes, we have the Spotify, we have Boomplay, we have what do we call it now? Uh, okay, so they are not flowing right now, right? But basically, yeah, basically there are lots of digital platforms out there which we can distribute our songs to, onto, and generate revenue. Yeah, Apple Music, thank you. Which we can distribute our songs to and generate revenue from it. Okay, so but the question is distribution the core of music business? I put it to you today that distribution is not the core focus of music business. But the basic thing we are looking at is what comes after distribution. What is the right strategy after you have distributed your song onto those platforms? So you bought a car and you've gotten the car to your house. Let's say that is the distribution. Your compound is a store and you've gotten the car to your house. The car will not jump itself. The car will not drive itself. The car will not will not take you to any destination itself. You need to either employ a driver or you drive the car yourself, depending on where you are going to. What is your goal? What is your target? These are some of the things that we have to look into, right? When you get a car, when you purchase a car. Same thing with when you distribute your song. When you are distributing your song and you've distributed it to all the digital platforms, what comes after that? What comes after that? That is the question, and that is the strategy we need to focus on. So if you are not focusing on some of those questions, or if you've not asked yourself some of those questions, I will advise that after this conference or after this webinar, you go back and ask yourself this question. What comes after you've distributed your song to digital platforms? What comes after you've distributed your song to iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, Boomplay, Audiomack, and all? Now, to go straight into that and to answer us and to give us some answers to this question, I want to ask again, how do you promote the songs that have been distributed? This is basically the right question that will give us answer to the former question, which is what comes after distribution. Now, the question is, how do you promote the songs that have been distributed? Like I said earlier on, right? If you've gotten a car, so it's either you get a driver or you learn how to drive. When you learn how to drive, you take the car out for driving yourself. You take it to any destination yourself. So it's either you employ the service of a promoter or you undo some of these things yourself. However, how do you do it? What are the things we should be doing? Right? They are basically the WH questions which we should ask ourselves every time and every now and then we are planning to put out a song on or we are planning to release a song, or we are planning to put out songs on all digital platforms or maybe blog platforms, or depending on what your goal is for the release. Now, to answer that question of how do you promote the songs that have been distributed, one is blog distribution. I'm sure most of us, we are familiar with blog distribution. If you just dump your song on digital stores and you are not promoting yourself via any of these strategies which I'll be making mention of, you've just wasted money, effort, time, and resources which you have invested in producing and distributing the song. For some people, it costs 500k. For some people, it costs 1 million. For some people, it costs 5 million to produce a song, to produce, mix, and master a song. For some people, it might cost you 10,000 naira. However, you also need to count the cost of time, which cannot be valued, right? The cost of time. You also need to count the cost of effort, energy, and all that you have invested into the project. So why invest so much time, value, effort into the project and you are not taking it a notch further? So the notch further which you need to take is blog distribution. And after blog distribution, so let me make mention of this, right? The basic reason why you should distribute your song to blog platforms or blog websites is for search engine optimization. One, search engine optimization. When I search for your song, or when I listen to your song on radio and I want to search for you, or someone make mention of you and they are asking, who is this person? The first place I go to, and every one of your listeners and fans out there go to, is Google or Instagram or Facebook. But the major place they go to is Google. Now, the blog distribution gives you visibility on Google. The blog distribution gives you visibility on Google. Then after blog distribution, you have to look into playlisting to increase your streams and all that across platforms. You must focus on playlisting. Playlisting is very important, right? There's no how we'll be talking about distribution and you're talking about revenue generation, but we are not talking about how to drive traffic and traction to the songs itself. You get? So that's why I'm taking my time as short and concise as possible to give us some of the strategies that we need to make use of. Like I said earlier on, right? Life is in stages and we have to do the bits we can at every stage as possible. So if what you can do is blog distribution, it's fine. If what you can do is playlisting, it's fine. If what you can do is social media marketing, it's fine. That leads me to the third point on how to promote your songs that have been distributed, or how to drive traction to the songs that have been distributed. Social media marketing. Now, there's the content creation side part of social media marketing, and there's the sponsored advert side of social media marketing. Okay, social media marketing, you have to ensure that you are creating as much content as possible, right? You have to ensure that you are creating as much content as possible. What's basically trending, or the top of the digital strategies right now, is video. The top of the digital strategies right now is video, either reels, YouTube shorts, TikTok videos, and all. So how are you channeling your energy and your efforts towards this top digital strategy that will drive traffic and traction to your platform and to your music? So if all you're doing after you've released a song is to just post the artwork once, and you post a mini or short video once, and you say, yeah, I've done my bit, I put it to you today that you've done nothing. You've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. Not even 1/100. Right? So you need to ensure that we are creating as much content as possible in order to drive traction to these platforms, or to these musics that have been distributed across platforms. Right? One of those things that we also need to do, which is number 4 on my list here, is influencer marketing. Right? This is one of the strategies to increase the streams and plays on your song. Influencer marketing, it's very important. Right? So it's either you are paying a platform on Instagram which has a large audience to put your song, or to create a content for you and use your song, or you are paying a TikTok influencer, or you are paying a blogger, or you are paying 247, right? You are paying 247 to put it up on Instagram, right? I act as an influencer to that project, or we act as influencers to that song which you are releasing. So that's why it's also very important. So we create the unique content, or whoever is the influencer you are reaching out to, we create the content to be shared on their platform, and also drive their traffic and all traffic that will be coming in contact with the content they have created using your song to your digital platforms or to your social platforms. So it's very important that we also do this. One of the things that we also need to do is email marketing, right? If you are not doing email marketing at this age, then you need to re-strategize. If you do not have access to 1,000 people that you can release a song today and you just distribute to them via your emails, just say, yo, I'm releasing a song in the next 1 week, I'm releasing a song today, and this is the link for you to stream the song. For anyone to have been a part of your email list, that means they are already a fan, and they are looking forward to what you are dropping next, or what you are giving them next. Okay, so that's why it's also very important you have direct access to the number of lists. Might be 1,000, might be 100, for a start might be 10, for a start might be 5, right? But how do we do this? Sometimes you might need to have a website of your own. You might need to have a website of your own or subscribe to some of the email marketing platforms across board. So if you are enjoying me, please, or I want to see the engagement, kindly drop a comment in the chat session, just for me to understand and for me to know that my voice is still as audible as possible and we are still getting what I'm talking about. So the next thing that will drive visibility to your brand, is newspaper publication, TV and radio airplay, and quite a number of other strategies. But I also want to put it to you today that if all your focus or your goal for right, for doing or for engaging any of this strategy is numbers, is streams, or is just to see how many people have downloaded my song, then you are getting it wrong. There is the visibility part of promotion, there is the impression part of promotion, there is the branding part of promotion, and there is the noise making part of promotion, just to make the noise. And of course there is the numbers part of it. 50 people have streamed your songs, 100 people have streamed your song, 100 people are listening to my song. There is that part of music promotion, but there are also other part of music promotion which will at the end of the day drive traffic to your brand as a whole, right? When I say it's driving traffic and it's driving traction to your brand as a whole, does not mean you are getting streams, right? It might be that somebody just picked the newspaper that you've published, a story that was published for you on newspaper, and refer you as a brand to someone that will pay you in millions for this, just to minister at their on their platform, or to minister, or for an interview, or for a TV interview, right? The funniest thing is, even if you are not doing, if you have not done any publication, newspaper publication, there is no how you will be verified on Instagram. One of the major requirements for Instagram verification, or what do you call it now, Facebook verification, one of the major requirements is newspaper publication. So we need to look into this and also ensure that you are at a time or the other focusing on 1, 2, 3, 4 of these strategies, or all of the strategies, right? So the basic thing is, how do you promote the song? How do you drive traffic to the song? How do you drive traction to the songs that have been distributed? I understand that distribution now you can do it on your own, right? But how do you drive traffic to the song? Some of these things can be done on your own. Some of these things require you to reach out to a professional, depending on what works for you, right? So let's move quickly. In the next 10 minutes or thereabouts, let's quickly talk about revenue generation, right? Revenue generation in music. See, in music, basically, we don't call it revenue, we call it royalty, right? We call it royalty in music business. So royalty generation, or basically revenue generation. So how do you generate revenue for your songs? I'll be making mention of, I'll be touching just a few of these strategies that will help you generate revenue for your song, or as an artist, or as an individual that you are. All right, thank you very much. I'm seeing the comments, and yeah, that means I'm still audible enough. You know, Zoom can be funny sometimes. So one of the what do you call it now? The royalty generation strategy is through streaming royalties. Now, people are streaming your songs on iTunes, they are streaming your songs on Spotify, they are streaming your songs on Bookplay. If you distributed the song yourself, you have access to the back end, and you can monitor how many thousands of streams you are getting, how many numbers you are getting, how many thousands of streams you are getting. But if you distributed with a professional, they can give you. For us, we actually give the back end details to any clients that we've worked with as regards digital distribution. So we give you the back end details. You have access to monitoring rather the streamings and the streaming numbers. But there's no how you'll be getting streamings, you'll be getting the numbers if you haven't promoted the songs at all, if all you did was just to do distribution. Okay, now there are basic one other strategy or one other royalty generation channel is publishing royalties. We hardly talk about this. We hardly talk about this in the kingdom world, right? In the industry, right? We hardly talk about it, but this is what is the talk of the town in the hip hop industry or in the mainstream industry. It's the talk of the town. Publishing royalties. So for publishing royalties, we have mechanical royalty, we have performance royalty, we have synchronization royalties. Now, what is mechanical royalty? Mechanical royalty is the right to reproduce and commercially distribute copyrighted songs physically or on digital platforms. So, as a producer, if I'm jumping on the beat of your song, right? You as the artist, you have the right to claim royalties on some of this. If I'm redistributing the song and I'm putting it on platforms, you as an artist, you have the right, to claim royalty for this. There's also performance royalty. Yeah, performance royalty is the public performance and royalty payments are necessary whenever a song is played or performed publicly. So if I know we've all heard of these before, some of the disputes we have in the industry, that artists come to platforms and they have access to platforms whenever they are asked to minister and they minister other artists' songs, right? But why is it an issue for us? Because we don't have that system in Nigeria. We don't have that system in Nigeria that will claim the performance royalty of this song that is being performed or ministered on that stage. So when I'm invited, or when you are invited as an artist to minister in a place or at a public space and all that, right? When you minister a song of mine as an artist, there is a performance royalty that I, as the original producer or original content creator or original artist, original songwriter of that song, right? Radio broadcast, whenever your song is being played on radio, whenever there is a TV or film broadcast of your song, whenever in bars, club, restaurants, your songs are being played, at concerts venues or on streaming platforms, iTunes, Spotify, like that. Yeah, whenever your songs are being played, there is something they call performance royalty that you are entitled to, right? There's also the synchronization royalty. So whenever your song, or let me say a TV for a TV commercial or for a drama production and all that, or a film production, the producer can reach out to you as an artist. Then you say, okay, come, we saw this song, we've listened to it, and we want to use it as a soundtrack in our song, in our video, or in our drama, or in the film, right? Whenever your song is being used as a soundtrack, you are entitled to synchronization royalty. These are some of the unconventional ways of generating revenues, right? I know one of the major things that we know of for generating revenue or revenue generation channel is streaming, is the digital store streaming. But digital store streaming is just one of the so many channels where we can actually generate revenue for our songs, right? So like I said, if you've ever watched a TV show or commercial or screen or movie, streamed a video online, yeah, sorry please, you probably noticed the amount of music that are used in that video. So once those videos are being streamed, your song is being used in any of those films, you as an artist, you are entitled to performance synchronization royalty. Pardon me. So there are some bodies in charge of this. Like I said earlier on, we don't have it figured out in Nigeria yet. So these bodies are basically international bodies. They are based in the UK, in Germany, Sweden, Canada, France. There is the BMI, there is the CESAR, there is the PRS for music, there is the GEMA, GEMA, there is the SACEM, which is SACEM, that have a couple of bodies that help us as artists or as publishers, right, to claim our royalties. And you have to register as an artist, as a songwriter, as a producer, as a DJ or something, right? In the industry, you have to register to be a part of this body, and for these bodies to claim your royalty for you, which is the mechanical royalty, performance royalty, and synchronization royalty, right? So we can search online for some of these bodies. I can also do release a song or promote a song. I cannot give you categorically, right, or specifically the amount you need or the total amount you need. For promotion, you can spend 10,000, you can spend 50,000, you can spend 5 million, you can spend 10 million just to promote the song. Okay, so it all depends on your budget and and your goal, also what you are looking to achieve. However, one other thing I would love to talk about is, you said if I'm releasing the song tomorrow. Okay, if you are releasing the song tomorrow, today should not be the day you are now planning how to promote it. That's one thing I also want to make mention of. Yeah, exactly. Today, the funniest thing is we've gotten calls. These are practical things that, or calls that we get from people, even from artists. Some artists will reach out to you and they tell you that they are releasing the song in the next 5 hours. Like, are you serious? So the best time for you to start planning the promotion for the song is when you conceive the song, right? Or when you start planning the recording of the song. So you need to start planning the promotion. Then you need to now look at, okay, so I'm trying to go back to you putting together the product, because most times we think of what comes after the product, not knowing that, or not putting into consideration what comes before the product, right? The product is what the quality of the product, it's what will sell, or is what will sell your brand, or is what what comes after the product will drive on, or will drive with. So whenever we are planning a project, right, the first thing you need to do is, of course, get a producer, look for who can who can produce and interpret the song very well and give you a very top-notch production depending on your budget. Then also get a publicist involved, right? If you are not getting a publicist involved, if you think that you want to do it yourself, right? So I can give us a list of things that we should do in order to do these things, maybe ourselves, or get someone that will be doing it for us. Funnily enough, I have on if you click my Instagram handle right now, there's a link somewhere there on my Instagram handle which has the checklist for music, the music release checklist. Basically, this question that you've asked me is what I have there, and it is free, right? The music release checklist, right? This is what I have there, what you should do step by step. Step by step, I have them, so I will try as much as possible to also list that right now, but I might not be so detailed with it. So I would advise you to go onto my Instagram page, click a link on the bio, my Instagram page, which is Prince Tosin. Click a link on the bio, look for a link that goes to the product, the music release checklist. Download it and consume it. It will help you for your next release. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is get the product ready. The product, which is the song, or the video, get it ready. Right? Once the product is ready, what comes after that? Get a professional what do we call it now? Get a professional headshots, professional pictures. These will help the graphics that you are producing. After getting a professional picture, the next thing you need to do is now start announcing on the platform. Start announcing on your social media platforms and all that, the project which is coming up. You are driving traffic, you are driving traction, you are getting attention even before the project is being sold or before the project is being released, right? That is why you need to get these things done. Once you've done that, you can also use some of the pictures you've gotten from, or some of the professional pictures, right? I know Sister Lolade does this a lot. She goes to the studio every now and then. She has a stylist that does this. She has a photographer that does this and all. These are some of the things that we need to emulate, right? She does it a lot, right? Even before the song is released, you are seeing pictures here and there. So after that, you need to get the picture. Once you've gotten the picture, you now need to get a graphics designer, a professional graphic designer that will interpret the song tell the story of the song with a beautiful and appealing graphics, right? Not you just, I don't advise it. I know getting a professional graphic design might be expensive, but it's an investment that you need to make. The first thing that attracts anyone to your music before listening to the song is your visual content, which is the photography, the pictures I've talked about, and the graphics, right? Once the graphics is ready, you need to also start looking into video content, viral video content that you will use. Sometimes you can shoot about 50, 20, 30 video content. Shoot this video content, 1 minute video content before the song is released. So it's easier for you to just put this content out there to drive traction and attention for the song, right? Once this is done, the next thing is get a release date. Once you have a release date, right, your release date might have been, even you might have gotten your release date, like we work in the spirit, and we work in the spirit, we are led by the spirit. Most times in the main industry, right, you have the release date even before going to the studio, right? So it doesn't matter if you have your release date before or you have it after you've gotten your content or your promotional materials ready. The next thing you also need to do is after you've gotten that and you have your release date, now go on to your DSP, your distribution platform. Is it your promoter that is handling it for you? Are you coming to 247 to handle it for you? Have them on board now to handle the distribution to digital stores. Now, if you have your release date ready, your distributor or your distribution platform will work with your release date. Sometimes the distribution platform, it takes 2 weeks, it takes 1 week, it takes a day, depending on how much you're paying, right, to get it on these distribution platforms, on these digital platforms. So you have your distributor working with your release date. Now that you have your release date and you have your promotional materials, the next thing you need to look into is your profile as an artist. The press release of that song. right? Sometimes your blogger or your promoter will work on these things, and sometimes if you are not using a professional, you get these things done by yourself. Even if you are coming to 247, we ask you to give us the promotional materials, which is including the press release and about the song. This is what we can work with to interpret the song better. No one can interpret your song for you better than you, that who conceived the song, either by the spirit or by knowledge or what have you, right? So after you've gotten that, now the next thing is discuss with your distributor, your promoter, your blogger, or if you are doing this or you have a team, get your team, your army, your social army ready to start hyping the song. Now you are releasing some of the promotional materials. Some of the promotional materials has to do with anticipating the song, while some of the promotional materials will have to do with the song has been released. While some of the promotional materials, I'm referring to promotional materials, are including your video or pictures or countdown pictures, right? Might include what happens after the song has been released. So these are some of the things that you need to put together. Once you put these things together, I bet you me, you will be able to achieve a professional and a well resulted campaign which will drive traction to your platform. But like I said at the beginning of this training of my speech, I said the music business is an expensive business. It's an expensive business. I've talked about these things and we can see that it's a whole lot. This is what you can achieve with 5,000. This is what you can achieve with 5 million naira. This is what you can achieve with 10 million naira, depending on your goal, depending on how far you want to go. So I hope I've been able to answer that question of yours. But in case there are some of these things that I have not made mention of, like I said, I want you to just go to my Instagram handle, then pick the link in my bio, search for the links. There are quite a number of links there and products there, right? Search for the link and get the music release checklist. It's free, right? And there is also a product I am coming up with which will give us a 30 days content calendar which will help you promote your song. So like I said, you need to shoot a number of videos here. Now this 30 days content calendar will help you put together or will guide you with some of those contents that you need to create in order to promote the song. As soon as this product is ready, I'll be sharing with the house, either with Pastor Doke or Pastor Goke rather. Sorry, pardon me. Either with Pastor Goke or I'll share with the old house. Thank you, Sister Tony. I hope I've been able to answer the question.